Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. Empress Dowager Cixi of the Qing dynasty was an undeniable historical figure. Her life was filled with power and controversy, and she was always at the center of the storm. However, surprisingly, the only poem she left behind was not about governing the country, but a deeply emotional piece titled A Birthday Tribute to My Mother. This short poem of just 28 characters not only reveals her sentimental side, but also shatters the public stereotype of her as a ruthless ruler. Even more astonishing is that this poem was included in elementary school textbooks, becoming a classic passed down through generations. So why did this iron-fisted woman, who once held supreme power over the Qing court, express such genuine emotions in this poem? From a concubine to the center of power. According to historical records, Empress Dowager Cixi was born into the Yehe Nara clan. She rose to prominence through the imperial selection process, and at just 17 years old, she became one of Emperor Xianfeng's concubines. From her initial title of noble Lady Lan to her later status as concubine Yi, her rapid ascent far outpaced that of other concubines. It is well known that the competition within the Qing imperial court was fierce. A single misstep in the power struggle could lead to complete downfall, or even death. Yet, Cixi keenly seized opportunities, using her extraordinary wit and strategy to steadily elevate her position. The turning point, the birth of an emperor. Her fate took a decisive turn when she gave birth to a son, the future Emperor Tongzhi. As the mother of the emperor, she swiftly ascended to the center of the harem's power. But Cixi was clearly not content with merely being the mother of the emperor. When Emperor Xianfeng's health deteriorated, she demonstrated remarkable political acumen and began assisting in reviewing imperial reports. The Qing court's memorials were notoriously complex, but Cixi, with her meticulous analysis and decisive judgment, gained Xianfeng's trust and became one of his most relied-upon aides. The seizing of power. After Emperor Xianfeng passed away, the domestic and international situation took a sharp downturn. With a young emperor on the throne, power struggles within the Qing court intensified. The regent ministers attempted to seize complete control, seeking to exclude Cixi from political affairs. Faced with this storm, Cixi did not retreat. Instead, she displayed extraordinary courage and strategic prowess. Teaming up with Prince Gong, Ascent, she launched the Xinyo coup, swiftly eliminating her political enemies and seizing power. From that moment on, she not only became the de facto ruler of the Qing court, but also left an indelible mark as a woman in power in Chinese history. The paradox of supreme power. To outsiders, Empress Dowager Cixi was the woman who sat firmly at the pinnacle of imperial power, controlling the fate of the Qing dynasty and enjoying unparalleled luxury. Yet, deep within the palace, was she not also ensnared by an inexpressible loneliness? On the surface, she wielded authority over the court, commanding and shaping the grand political landscape. But this supreme power came at the cost of unspeakable solitude within the imperial walls. To maintain her position, she had to constantly guard against the ministers around her, even those closest to her. This perpetual vigilance distanced her from others, trapping her in an emotional wasteland. For Cixi, family should have been her last, safe harbor. Yet the rigid etiquette and ruthless power struggles of the court made even familial love seem unreachable. As a mother, her love for Emperor Tongzhi was often overshadowed by the demands of politics. Appearing cold and unfeeling, she strictly disciplined her son to ensure he could bear the responsibilities of an emperor. Yet, in doing so, she inadvertently suppressed the warmth that should have existed in their mother-son relationship. Emperor Tongzhi spent almost his entire life under his mother's authority. This sense of oppression only further distanced and strained their relationship. However, what pained Empress Dowager Cixi the most was her own relationship with her mother. As the eldest daughter in her family, she once shared a close and warm bond with her mother in her youth. But after entering the palace, first as an imperial consort and later as the de facto ruler of the Qing dynasty, her ties with her mother were gradually severed. Amid the long years of solitude in the deep palace, her longing for her mother grew stronger. Yet, her duties as the Empress Dowager prevented her from easily leaving the palace, even on her mother's 70th birthday. She could only send gifts from afar. To express her filial piety, Cixi carefully prepared a birthday gift, the most special of which was a birthday poem she personally wrote for her mother. Although the poem was not particularly literary or refined, it was a heartfelt expression of her emotions. Cixi's birthday poem for mother reads: "Parental love is the truest in this world, tears and blood flow into their children's veins. Exhausting all efforts for the sake of their child, how pitiful is the heart of all parents." This poem contained no political calculations, only a sincere outpouring of emotions, reflecting Cixi's deep yearning and sentiment. Despite being only 28 characters long, its genuine and heartfelt nature made it profoundly moving. It revealed a rare glimpse of tenderness beneath Cixi's hardened exterior, making it one of the few authentic emotional expressions in her lifetime. Additionally, those familiar with Cixi's calligraphy knew that her handwriting was neat and elegant, highly regarded in palace calligraphy and painting. However, this poem was written in a free and natural manner, without any deliberate embellishment. Each character seemed to carry her emotions, as if she were voicing her longing for her mother, or perhaps engaging in an inner dialogue with herself. This unpolished, spontaneous expression starkly contrasted with the calculated and strategic persona she usually displayed. Thus, Birthday Poem for Mother has been passed down through generations not only because it was included in elementary school textbooks but also because it revealed the complexity of Cixi's character. She was not merely the iron-fisted Empress Dowager who controlled the Qing dynasty but also an ordinary woman with tender emotions. The phrase, "tears and blood flow into their children's veins," expressed both her gratitude toward her mother and seemed to reflect her own role as a mother. Historical records suggest that Cixi was extremely strict, even harsh, toward Emperor Tongzhi, which led to a long-standing emotional estrangement between them. Yet, beneath this cold exterior, perhaps there lay deep regrets and sorrow. She may not have known how to express maternal affection or how to balance power with motherhood, only realizing the pain and helplessness of it all in her later years. Why was this poem included in textbooks? Despite its simple language, it touches upon the deepest human emotions. It lacks elaborate rhetoric and serves no imperial agenda. It is purely an unguarded expression of personal sentiment. The final line, "How pitiful is the heart of all parents," is especially poignant, resonating with countless ordinary people. It allows readers to glimpse the truest emotions of a mother's heart. It is worth noting that Cixi remains one of the most polarizing figures in history. On one hand, she is often condemned as the chief culprit of the Qing dynasty's decline, a symbol of greed and autocratic rule. On the other hand, some recognize her political acumen, arguing that her strong leadership, to some extent, prolonged the life of the Qing dynasty. Indeed, Cixi is primarily remembered as a ruler with exceptional boldness and strategic maneuvering. She navigated the complex political landscape of the Qing court and maintained a firm grip on power. However, this iron-fisted rule also made her a subject of widespread criticism, her legacy marred by territorial concessions, indemnities, and internal decline, branding her as a sinner through the ages. Yet, when Birthday Poem for Mother spread among the public, people saw a different side of Cixi. She was not just the ruthless and calculating ruler, she also possessed a softer, more affectionate side. From a literary perspective, this poem is far from a classic. Its language is plain and lacks the refined rhetorical elegance seen in the works of emperors like Qianlong or Liu. However, its straightforwardness bridges emotional gaps between people, making it stand out precisely because of its unembellished sincerity. As often said, historical figures cannot be simply classified as good or bad. Cixi's coldness and tenderness were two sides of the same coin, making her one of the most controversial women in late Qing history. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone, and see you in the next time.